everyone, and welcome back. Today's project is going to be this weekly to-do calendar. And I found these calendars at Michael's, and it was just $1. It was in the checkout aisle, and they actually were glued at the top and stuck with a magnetic backing. So I had to tear it all apart so that way I could punch them individually. And so this is what we're making today. I picked purple because purple is my sister-in-law's favorite color, and I made this project for her. And in this project we are going to be using several different things. The paper I picked out was from the Pocket Full of Posy stack, and you need one 12 by 12 sheet, and then you're going to need one 12 by 12 sheet of plain cardstock. I also used the Sweet Treats cartridge from Cricut, and also the Paisley cartridge. Now remember to check your cartridges because you can find some great sales. This cartridge I actually picked up for $9.99 at Michael's. And I also used the Gypsy. The Gypsy is completely optional. You do not have to have it. For me, since I've purchased it, I find that laying everything out on the mat is just a lot easier because I can see exactly what I'm cutting and the size I'm cutting it, and I know everything's scaled perfectly to the project I'm working on. So if you haven't got one, highly recommend it. And you are also going to need a Zutter or some other way to bind your book. I just really love my Zutter. And let's go ahead and I'll walk you through the project. The first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to cut 2 pieces of chipboard. Now the chipboard is going to measure 8 inches by 6 inches, and you're going to go ahead and cover it on the outside with your decorative paper. On the inside, you're just going to leave it plain, and that is why you have the plain paper. So go ahead and cover your front and back covers to match, and set those aside. What you're going to need to do next is go ahead and punch your calendar. And what you're going to want to do when punching anything on the Zutter, which is what I found, it's worth the extra time, is to make yourself a template. I do this on all my projects because there is nothing worse than having your spacing off, especially when you've covered it with nice papers. You don't want to ruin your work. So go ahead and cut out your spacing. This is actually not the correct one. This is for an 8-inch template. I just grabbed it. Your book is actually going to be for a 6-inch template, which should be 10 holes. And so go ahead and make your template before you start punching. But once you're ready, go ahead and punch out your templates, or punch out your pages and your covers. And on a 6-inch binding, you should have 10 holes evenly spaced. And for a project of this size, you're going to need the Zutter 3/4 inch O-wire. So once you've punched it, filled it, and went ahead and binded the project, you're going to need to start decorating. Now for this project, I just went ahead and I used a little rhinestone ribbon, again from Michael's. You have to love their ribbon sales. And for the background for the decorative cover, I used a large scallop on the Sweet Treats cartridge, and I just cut that out in a deep purple to offset from the background. And then scaling to the size of the scallop, I went ahead and made my dragonfly. I did do the outline of the shadow. Instead of doing the black body, which I would typically do, I went ahead and printed him out, or cut him out, in the light lavender. Now because I did this, his face underneath needed to be black. So what I did is just punched a little circle hole, cut it in half, and laid it down and glued it on top of the lavender, but underneath the green, so that his eyes would be dark like they're supposed to be. So they're the same color actually as the shadow. Then go ahead and just cut out the remaining pieces. Glue it all together using your glue stick. The final touches you can kind of see is I picked up and I put rhinestones at the bottom of his tail, And that actually picks up all the glitter that's in this paper. It probably doesn't show up on the video, but there's a lot of glitter in the paper. And also coordinates with the rhinestone ribbon. Now, this project, I'm going to assume is going to take someone that is familiar with the Cricut about 30 minutes. If you're new, it's an easy to do project, but it's going to take you probably more like an hour. I highly recommend it. It's a fun little project, especially if you're trying to get used to the different pieces of equipment in your craft room. So I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy the project. Good luck, God bless, and have a wonderful day.